If somebody tells you they are investing in Bitcoin, gold, or their home, they might be wrong about what investing actually means. And this confusion can cost them years of financial progresses. Hi, I'm Marco, and welcome to Reaching 10. On this channel, we discuss early retirement in Europe without hype, focusing on what actually works. By the end of this video, you will have one simple question that will help you answering if you are investing or speculating. Apply it to anything and never be confused again. Many people believe that investing is about making more money, but I simply believe that this is not specific enough. Let me explain you why with a story. On a summer, I was on an island in Greece. It was not high season, it was just the beginning of the season. Surprisingly, there were no free spots at the restaurants. I was questioning myself, why is that? And I had a talk with the B&B owner. There was a person owning the biggest restaurant in the island. The restaurant was profitable and the owner was using the profits to buy consistently Bitcoin. At some point in time, Bitcoin exploded. This person became very rich, left the island and closed down the restaurant. This was the reason why there were no free spots available at the beginning of the season. But was this person an investor or a speculator? You could ask me, does it matter? Yes, it matters a lot. Let me give you the question you should ask yourself to understand if what you're doing is investing or speculating. Ask yourself, does it generate cash because something real is happening? In the case of the island, the real asset was the restaurant. It was generating profits and something real was happening. The food was served and people were eating. But let's apply this test to more asset classes. Let's apply it to stocks. As you know, a stock is ownership in a business. So basically, you could also be an owner or a partial owner of the previous restaurant or any other company. This means that you could receive cash via dividend, for example. At the same time, something real is happening because products or services are being sold to people. Let's continue with bonds. When a bond is issued, there is somebody, the lender, that borrows money to somebody else. Then the borrower uses that money to build something real, let's say an infrastructure, and at the same time, it's paying interest via a coupon to the lender. Let's take a look at another asset class, real estate for renting. That is pretty obvious. You rent an apartment, then the service given is that the person can enjoy the apartment, and at the same time, you will receive as cash the rental fee. But let's take other asset classes that do not pass the test. One of these could be gold. If you buy a piece of gold and you keep it in the bank or at home, does it generate cash? Well, the answer is no, it does not generate cash and nothing real is happening in the real world. The same applies to Bitcoin. Does it generate any cash because you hold it? No, you are just hoping that somebody in future times will buy at higher prices. And the same applies to many asset classes. Watches, art, NFT, whatever you can think of. So this test helps you understanding if you are investing or speculating. But is speculation a bad word? By the way, if this way of thinking resonates with you, please like and subscribe. It takes a few seconds to you, but it helps the channel a lot. Speculation in itself is not a bad word. The restaurant owner got lucky. Luck was real and this person got rich. I know other people that bought Bitcoin when it was very high, panicked when it was low, and realized big losses. This is the nature of speculation. You could realize big losses or get rich. The outcome is unpredictable. And this is why it's so important that you understand the difference between investing and speculating. At the beginning of this video, I also mentioned your home. This is one of the most debated topic in personal finance. Why? Because your first home in itself brings money out of your pocket, so you can see it as a liability. And by definition, an asset should bring cash into your pocket. Anyway, for your first home, you need to consider many things, like the mortgage, the interest rate that you have on that mortgage, the rental in the zone where you live. Because you need to consider so many factors, we will have a dedicated video on first homes so you can understand yourself if it is an asset or a liability. Now you have a framework to understand with a simple question if something is investing or speculation. Apply to anything and you will get your own answer. I'm Marco. Let's engineer your freedom. See you in the next video.